Hey everyone, this is Angel from Epic Gaming with another Noob Review, and today we are focusing on Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And before we start, I have to thank Ubisoft Latam for giving me a review copy of the game, but without further ado, let's start with the review. There has been a lot of speculation and criticism surrounding the game, so I wanted to give you my perspective as a new player to the series and how I felt about the game after 40 hours of playing the campaign, playing the PvP mode Ghost War, and some of the endgame content that is available right now. Ghost Recon Breakpoint is a third-person tactical shooter that puts you in control of Nomad, leader of a spec team of 32 ghosts. After a ship sinks mysteriously near the Auroa Archipelago, where Skell Tech, an advanced technology firm, has its base of operations, the CIA launches Operation Greenstone to regain control of the island. After being ambushed by drones and crashing, you lose contact with your team and join forces with the locals against the Wolves, a group of select military leadered by Colt D. Walker, aka Jon Bernthal, a former ghost friend of yours that has gone rogue. Your mission is to dig deep into Walker's plan, dismantle the operation, recover the control of Skell's technology, and free the island. Sounds good, right? Well, even though the concept is great, the execution is really poor, and we're left with a half-baked, badly scripted, cringe-worthy story. Through the 30-ish hour campaign, you meet with locals and Skell personnel trying to get a solid plan to execute against Walker's wolves. But every single one of the characters is bland and lacks a real personality that engages you and makes the story more immersive as the conflict slowly but surely continues to rise. The only time that there are highlights is when Jon Bernthal appears, which is strangely rare, and starts doing so by the end of the campaign. And even then, it seems like his badass acting is limited by the antagonist, who is totally transparent and predictable. I don't know if it is a problem with the modeling of the characters, the motion capture, or the dialogues itself, but Ghost Recon Breakpoint's story never fully grabbed me, and when some plot twists actually happened, I wasn't invested enough to get moved by the story. I even had a better time with some of the side missions that are available in the game. So, if you love Bernthal's acting and hope that this saved the game, I hate to disappoint you. Regarding the gameplay, I have to admit that I had a very rough time to adapt to Ghost Recon Breakpoint. The camera was way too close all the time, the shoulder swapping thing never actually clicked, switching from third person to first person while running and shooting, those were a couple of frustrating first hours. But once I had the ball rolling, I started doing my first story missions, it felt good. Shooting the different guns available is very responsive, the whole Spec Ops feeling that you get trying to infiltrate using any of the gadgets and special class abilities that you have is excellent, and taking a look at the huge map of Auroa and all of the side missions, faction missions, and main campaign progress that you can do while looting and shooting here and there, gives you an experience that can easily give you 60 plus hours if you're trying to achieve 100% in the game. Depending on the size of the area that you're actually trying to infiltrate, you could take from 15 to 30-40 minutes to kill all the enemies and loot all the chests and collect information that will help you to unlock secrets and locations around the map. But, and here's one of my main complaints, this gameplay loop gets old very fast. While you are progressing through the campaign, this is not noticeable because there is a link between the dialogues and the objectives that are currently on hand, but once you reach the endgame, I really didn't have that much of a motivation to continue doing so. There are no new enemy types or interesting mechanics particular to any location, it's just the challenge of the strategy that you're going to use to raid the place, defeat the enemies, interrogate the random person, collect information, and move on. Even the boss fights against Walker's special elite wolves are totally disappointing. Dealing with all of this as a solo player is sometimes very frustrating. The whole game is focused on co-op, on having a group of 4 players coordinating classes, technology, distractions, and tactics to operate as a team and go against the enemy. One can be a sharpshooter, a medic, a stealth specialist, or Rambo. Clearing areas with 20 plus enemies is complicated, especially when you don't have any AI companions that can help you out, except for your cool slingshot drone that lets you take down up to 3 enemies at the same time, and if you're trying to prove yourself by stepping up the difficulty level, this can be a heavy, challenging, and frustrating experience. There's a matchmaking feature, but after playing a couple of rounds of the PvP mode Ghost War, which is not that great by the way, and having this situation,
go to the fucking map and yo, bots, man. Y'all some fucking bots, dog. Garbage. Quit playing the game.
I really didn't want to risk the chance to spend a lot of time planning an attack with stranger for things to just fall apart. One big aspect that makes Ghost Recon Breakpoint a weird game experience is the fact that it's like a bad mashup of a lot of different games coming together. You've got the huge open world from the classic Ubisoft formula, the landmarks with enemies from Far Cry games, the shooting mechanics from Rainbow Six Siege, a battle pass from the Battle Royale genre, and now the gear score system from The Division. I don't know what is wrong with Ubisoft trying to make all of their games the same, but it felt that many of these things didn't belong together, especially the gear score system. As you progress through the campaign, you will level up, obtaining ability points which will let you unlock technology, stats, or items that will make your incursions a lot easier. But the gear score system that is tied to your weapons and equipment messes up with the whole one shoot, one kill. Yes, you can still kill a higher gear score enemy than you by one shot to the head, but the drones are less or more bullet spongy depending on how high your gear score is. There are even marked drone areas with a specific gear score where you confront tank-like drones like the Behemoth that is actually pretty challenging, but besides the fact of the level gating content, there is no actual use for the gear score system. By the time a yellow quality item dropped for the first time for me, I was actually really excited, as these have better perks and stats than the rest, but as I needed to keep grinding to go to the higher score areas, there was no way to salvage these pieces of equipment or guns by any sort of upgrading or infusing system, so they turned automatically to garbage. And now that I know that the final gear score is 250 and getting better stuff turns out to be more of a grind because of how the game is designed, I feel that I can't have that much fun as I do with other looter shooters that have this aspect more fine-tuned. Once you reach the endgame, your sole mission is to look for blueprints and attachments, clear the 20 side missions, and enter the grind of the factions missions to level up your battle pass and obtain more cosmetic rewards for this season. By the time I am writing this review, there is not yet a word when the raids are going to be available, as they are still under development, but that sounds like something fun. All of this leads to my biggest criticism with the game. The main design focus for this is the live service model and its microtransactions. I really don't get why Ubisoft needed Ghost Recon Breakpoint to be an online always game. There's a central base of operations called R1 where you meet with the locals and Skell personnel to plan your attack as you progress through the story. But besides that, the only purpose for this thing is to waste your time, bounce against dozens of other players, and see the shop to buy stuff. You have two types of currencies, Skell credits, which you can get by playing in the world or buying with real money, and Ghost coins that you can only buy with real money. Most of the things that you can get with Skell credits are easily accessible because of all of the extra loot that you can get and then sell back to the store. But the curious thing is that there are a lot of endgame items that you can buy actually from the shop. More specifically, weapon blueprints and mods that are scattered around the map in the various locations of the island of Auroa. There are also crafting materials, upgrades, and cosmetics, but the most infuriating ones are the blueprints and the mods. Why list all of these endgame items into the shop? That is the whole purpose of the game once you have finished the story campaign. Get all the loot and arm yourself like Stallone. Why add time-saving features like crafting materials when there is no point in upgrading your weapons until you reach max gear score? How could the design of the game have changed if these were not available since the beginning? I know, and I respect that a lot, that there are fellow gamers that work hard 40 plus hours a week and can only play for 30 minutes or so when they wake up early in the morning. But I think a better core design would have benefited these kind of players a lot, rather than some microtransactions. Overall, Ghost Recon Breakpoint seems to me like a game with a lot of good intentions, pointing in a lot of directions, trying to please different types of gamers, but not staying true to their roots and their player base. It is a gaming experience that most certainly should be enjoyed with friends, but alienates the solo players into a weird gaming loop that just isn't that great. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please leave a thumbs up, check out more content for Ghost Recon Breakpoint in this playlist right here, or consider subscribing to the channel for more AAA game news, tips and reviews here in Abix Gaming. Have a great day.